目前队伍的状态还是挺好的。然后因为平常比赛之前我都会跟他们说一下游戏个人上面的东西，所以说叮嘱的话就是每场比赛都在做吧。然后对于队伍的期望的话，就是希望自己队伍今天能够漂亮的赢下比赛，然后以一个登峰队伍的姿态进入季后赛。
好的，就让我们一同期待你们的发挥了。我们邀请到的是老干爹的 Sassy 选手，先有请他跟大家打声招呼。
大家好，我是老干爹上单选手 Sassy。
好的，欢迎你。那今天你们即将和 JDG 交手，你觉得队伍要在哪一部分做得更好，才能够赢下这一场关键的对局呢？
就是我们后期的运营吧，然后大家就是尽量做一件事情就能赢。
其实最近的骑士之路呢，也有很多的以下课上的剧情。你在赛前有什么想要对兄弟们说的呢？
就是大家一起加油。
好的，就让我们一同期待今天这一场对决了。
Hello, folks. Now, it is important to note today, I'm not going to be casting Sam Wilby because my voice is still a little bit dead. Just for context, folks. Just for context, when we finished the games on, oh god, was it Saturday? Sunday, I think it was, yeah. It was hurting for me to talk. I pushed my voice way too hard. So, I did need the last day, 2 days ago. So luckily my voice is on the mend now, and that should be okay. But yes, I'm going to take today off, just play it safe. It'll be a solo cast from Sam. God, wait, that means that I will have I will have ended up casting the two Nirvana updates at the start of it, and we'll see whether, of course, we can get another one there. Anyway, I'm gonna everything's set up now. Sam will come through. Sam will come through when he's ready. I'll chill until we're you all. Yeah, wait until Uncle Sam gets here. Your babysitter's got to be ready. Oh, and welcome to everyone else as well. Yes, of course we missed yesterday. It was a 3-0 quickly by Weibo vs Ultra Prime yesterday.
Have arrived.
Hello.
Coffee in a minute, but then I won't.
Cool. Well, I can stick around for. So I'll stick around until you're actually ready to go in. But yeah, no. A couple of days ago when I finished the game, who do I think will win Game 1? Oh god, that's the hardest one to predict. Yeah, Game 1 is always the hardest to predict because you've got some teams which have had a little bit of time to sit and prepare.
您可以通过英雄联盟客户端找上英雄联盟及英雄联盟赛事官网 LPL.QQ.com、虎牙直播、斗鱼直播、哔哩哔哩直播、咪咕视频、腾讯视频、腾讯体育、新浪微博、微信视频号进行收看。电视机前的召唤师可以通过百视通平台收看全程赛事。嘿，来认识一下这位新队友，全新沉淀 CLA， 李宁英雄联盟斗魂觉醒系列现已上市。上京东搜赛事预测，使用 AI 预测，助你赢1000元耳机。我在场就是主场，莫兹利安为 LPL 难一口。
JDG, do they really drop games to LGD here? I think they can.
人像神器，夜拍超清晰，人像 MVP。TCL 全屋智慧家电，峡谷英雄敢为不凡。2025 LPL 官方指定家电产品。更受电竞用户喜欢的能量饮料，有能量当然占嘛。傲风电竞椅连续5年，
Yeah, I could see a world where JDG dropped games to LGD here, you know.
保护有度度，尽情开一局。感谢全场保护的杜蕾斯。酷睿 Ultra 200HX AI 高进游戏本，游戏本的6边形战士。
I will also send that. Okay, let's get our teams onto stage. Over here in LNG's arena in Suzhou.
今天的比赛将在苏州高铁新城羊城国际电竞馆进行，让我们有请双方对阵战队。
LGD are clearly the overdogs here. Look, I'm not gonna say that LGD are gonna come out and blast Game 1 or something like that. These are series which are really hard to predict. LGD and JDG are both really inconsistent teams. You know, JDG, they had some truly awful moments of form in the split. That doesn't mean they've always had that either, though. They've had some good moments in there too, of course. Of course they have.
首先，欢迎北京 JDG Esports
Another thing worth noting here,
打野
loser of this cannot qualify for Worlds.
下路
Particularly important for JDG. If JDG were to lose this series somehow, they would, be unable to qualify for Worlds. If they win this series, they're minimum in the gauntlet.
上单 Sassy 打野 Climber 中单小青蛙下路 Xavier 辅助银吹雪
Yeah, I'm not gonna cast, folks. So Sam will cast instead of me because my voice is still on the mend, really.
LPL 第3赛段骑士之路第4日，北京 JDG
Right,
对
I
战
believe
LGD 即
Sam's
将开
ready to
始
take over. So
，LPL
Sam,
无畏
without
进
further
巅
ado,
峰。
I'll leave it to you. Let me real quick.
Well, hello there, chat.
Don't change the scene just again.
Absolutely. I see Al's been walking you through all of the scenarios remaining. WE, despite their impressive finish in the second split, and what a run that was through playoffs, capitulated too hard in this split, now unable to hold on to that 6th place spot. Someone will be overtaking them because they got nothing in split 1, nothing in split 3. JD Gaming here, if they were to do just one more thing, likely make it. Yeah, I can do that. It will. Yes, it will.
No.
Back down the line. There we go. Finding cables, guys. Oh, suddenly a lot cooler. But that is where we were at. JDG have had a tepid split. We're going to use tepid. It has not been pretty, to say the least. But here we are now for game 1, JDG versus LGD. It is gonna be an interesting one, hopefully. Hopefully. Never exactly a done deal. I'll come and say hello, shall I? Hello, folks. I actually do need to have... Where art thou? This is the one. Hello, folks. There we go. I didn't need it over this way a bit, huh? No? That way a bit. There we go. Fantastic. Still this way a bit. Fabulous. So, for me, this is going to be one of those series where we will know from very early on whether JDG are here to play and whether LGD are going to be given a window to pull an upset. If we come into game 1 and JDG look lost and awkward and making horrible invades, and Pays is looking disconnected from Scout, is looking disconnected from Xiaoshu, and it's all about individual good moments and nothing coordinated, then we get rumbled. Worried for LGD. With a Rumble first pick for Xiaoshu, who I think most of us feel has been the shining star on this roster this split. It's not a bad way to start things out. Excuse me while I clean my glasses briefly. The response very swiftly was the Galio. We haven't seen a lot of Galio top in a while. I think Galio and Besser might not be a bad defensive / dive combo. It was a bit of trouble for JDG just the other week. You're glad you're reckoning 3-0 JDG, that's fair. Be cool if LGD randomly shows up today like when they 2-0'd EDG. Honestly, that's what makes this a very interesting one to track for me, because there is a real world where LGD just turn up and XQW and Sassy just have a great day. Climber pops off and you go, okay, that's I remember this now. I mean, Xavier obviously is a Draven player, right? We know what this guy is. He's very up and down. The artist formerly known as Xiaoye. Why do I sound exactly like Nymaera? It's because we've got the same accent, my friend. We're brothers. And we're from a very similar part of England. To my ear, to most people from the UK's ear, we don't sound that similar. However, if you are not an English language first speaker, or if you're from America or whatever, differentiating us can be harder because you hear the accent and not the voice. LGD will win, right? The thing is, JDG should still be the favourites in this. However, the fact that I have to say, however, says quite a lot. I quite like this combo from LGD so far, for the record. I do like this combo. Jarvan into Galio into Ambessa. Very, very nasty. Like, Poppy can deny some of this. But you only have one W, and one of the ways you do deal with Poppy is just saying, screw it, let's have way more dive than she can manage. Have enough skills to bait out the W, and then suddenly it's a lot more tricky. Ryze is giving JDG some very good side laning nowadays. Between the Rumble and the Ryze, very, very potent side laners. Global plus pseudo global, and the Realm Warp, and then the Equalize. Of course, you are into the Ryze, sorry, the Ryze into the Galio. So it's not like you are, and the Ambessa actually for another one of those pseudo globals. So you know you're actually matching that a little bit there. The collapse times this game are going to be quite short. Could be a 3-2. To be honest, that's kind of what I'm wondering. Because it's a very real world, but either JDG smash this, or LGD turn up and JDG show their flaws, and there have been a number of them. And that allows LGD a window to make this one interesting. So I think we'll know fairly early on in game one what kind of series we're going to get. Lucian, rapidly locked in. Xiaoyu was always a specialist on this one. Things like the Lucian and the Draven were always comfort picks. The Xayah, interestingly. But we'll go towards the Lucian now in the rebranded Savior form. Are we going to have Shun on the Poppy and go for the Rakan here? Or we're going to flex that Poppy into support? You've got the Lucian down there now. So the dash cancel would be nice, but they are going to go towards the Rakan. Move that Poppy into the jungle. Your engage is a little bit more saved now with the Rakan, because your engage was a little bit conditional before. That Poppy can charge you into a wall, but Poppy alone, not always the easiest. You had Rune Prison, but that again needs a little bit of setup. Feather Pull does similar things, but a lot of these are better when you've got additional bits of setup to make that work really well, and Rakan provides that for you, right? So that makes a lot of sense. Got to lock in YCX's ever-present Nautilus. Not going to be a Braum, which would have been fine this game. Might have been nice to the Poppy, can mess with the Rakan. Nautilus is probably better, I think, on the whole. A little bit more aggressive, bit more pick. And again, it's another one of those tools to force Poppy to W when she doesn't want to. The Xayah into what amounts to a full dive comp, I think, is also just very smart here. You can self-peel for yourself quite well this game as Xayah, though your flash is going to be very, very valuable, especially if you are caught inside the Cataclysm. You don't get to go over the wall if you are locked in there. If Lucian dies, JDG wins. Yeah, that's going to be a big one. I think the other one is if Sassy gets ahead, then JDG are going to have a really difficult time. Because I think if Ambassa becomes a 1vx threat in the backside, their team comp doesn't work very well anymore. Or as smoothly, anyway. And Sassy has actually been a very good Ambassa, so we'll see. I swear, Nord is such a bait pick, rather. Always hits a hook without aftershock. We have seen the Nautilus int angle becoming a bit more free with the choice to go spellbook very, very regularly. I agree that can be a little bit frustrating. Let's pump that volume up, shall we? Welcome to the Rift, guys, for game one of our series. Our final night's rival game. Crowd has it from here for a moment or two.
10秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
全军出击！
要杀你的人不是我，是他。
Not too much of the level 1 climber with the late blast cone. Oops. That's a big fan vote towards JDG. Both junglers starting on their bot side of the map and we pathing top. So, bit of initial trading down bot side doesn't lead to all that much. Worth noting, actually, YCX has gone towards the Aftershock this game and not the Spellbook. We were kind of talking about, yeah, there are a few games where it feels like Nautilus have just defaulted into Spellbook when really the Aftershock would have provided some value. Like right here, Sean does not have the Spellbook, or has the Spellbook and doesn't have the Aftershock. Yeah, that one's gonna sting. Flash and heal down, Jaws going well out. Zyra Khan can be very dominant if they get to use their abilities well in the early game. You've got those extended W trades from the Zyra, all those kinds of things, but get hit by a hook as the bird there, and it can be really, really, really unfun. Couldn't stick around for Gleaming Claw. Healing. All goes a little wrong there. I just selfishly want the winner to look shaky. TFC, why possibly could you say that? Who on earth would they be going up against next? Scout needs a bit of damage, but does get the wave shoved. Ward there is doing a fair amount to spot off stuff. Oh, no, stream feed frozen. I'm thinking, wow, we're focusing on this Ward a lot. Give it a second, guys. Audio will return, and then so will we. Hang on. We're still here. Just waiting for the clean feed to return. There's the audio. Where's the game? As a hook lands, good grief. And there is the chunk onto YCX. This time the punish back is good from Pays. YCX burns the heal. Saviour's not able to get the damage down. Worth noting, actually, Saviour's gone towards exhaust this game for the 1v1s. Good for trading up against Rise, Rumble, Zaya. Do like to go through fairly significant trades. Or burst, really. It is normally needs an auto, a bit of a rotation or two completed. Sassy, eat an electro harpoon or two. Really led to all that much in the early game, has it? No real ganks, no real plays for any very, very early objectives. The bot lanes have now switched, climbs around. Aggressively do want to play this. Climber just gets into the pixel bush. Shun also around to check the picture-in-picture. Here he goes. Gets the flag and drag in, but that's not going to be enough to keep Joe alive. The triple feather pull. Boots up all three. But it is not enough to find Revenge for Jaw, who gets hit by the hook into the flag and dragon goes down. Be back out on the map relatively shortly here with the teleport. Switch straight over to it. First blood goes the way of Savior. Lane shoved him. Good morning, Brack. Good to see you, my friend. SQW off vision. Climber did start up the dragon, but there is the wall in the back of the pit. Will he care? All right, junglers, you all saw that, right? You move into the banana bush to pull the dragon in the right location. Remember to do that. Scouts, gets the room prism. Oh, wonderful taunt XQW. Turn around hook onto Jaw. It's got aftershock procced. Doesn't lead to all that much, but I just want to say very nice taunt. Shutting out coming on over. May want to try and steal this. Down to 1600 HP. Keeper's Verdict knocks one away. Realm Warp in and Climbers are going to be forced back off this. They did switch the bot lane down for that, worth noting. So the wave up top side is going to go missing. Which I know is a little ironic considering he's no longer playing for JDG. Thorn onto pace. Doesn't really get that threatened by it. Equalizer bot side to force the wave in. Chow shoot in the danger zone, but not fully overheated. Grub's now spawning in 10 seconds. LGD a little slow on these resets. Aren't going to be there to contest properly. Though it is worth noting, as we said, that there was a wave lost topside for that play. But even so, it is JDG solo laners that are up about a wave right now. Despite the overload for Dragon. Start the grubs now. Ults. In terms of the equalizer, Poppy ult, Realm Warp down. Hook through the knockup. Well played by YTX. Cataclysm buys some time. Exhaust comes on down, and that means that XQW gets the kill onto Scout. Climber over the wall. Shun tries to buy some space, but they go playing that without really having that many ultimates. They lose another member. Double flashes off Scout and Pays. LGD strike back in terms of the objectives. JDG, that one was greedy for me. Maybe take a grub and get out, but I think the full fight when you were going to be down a lot of ultimates was bold to say the least. We're going to get a replay here in a second, I suspect, but honestly for me, YCX getting that hook through the grand entrance knock-up to buffer through, really, really valuable. Watch this, Joe's going to try and body block, and a really, really good hook timing from YCX. Climber gets to the backside, means Pays is forced into a really difficult position, has to flash. Climber tries to flash and be tricky with the feather, can't quite manage it, does just about survive the Shun. Gets over the wall with a heroic charge, but still going to be a dead rise, still going to be a lot of summoners blown on Pays. And LGD come away from the early game with 3 kills from the grubs now. Leading the game by 700 or so gold. Important where that gold is as well. Savior, 2-0-1. The Lucian needed to be a threat. Well, guys, you've got it. Lucian will be a threat. Ambassador with the early Hex Drinker into double AP solo lanes. Would be smart. We'll delay things like the Eclipse, the Shojin. There you go. On top of that, slight CS leads for JDG in the solo lane is worth noting. Again, Chow Shoot has done a good job there. Culling chunk onto 2 in the mid lane. Morning, Katari. Good to see you. Just me today, I'm afraid, Katari. Alex taking the day off because his voice is a bit fried after 4 or 5 days of permanent broadcasting. Shall Shoot be taunted? No, 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 no. I smell the elderberries. We already got a game, it's very nice. And other such Monty Python references. YCX gonna trade out here with the minions. Hook just wide. Nice dash away, sure. Battle dance is a hell of a thing. The question I am now asking myself is, when's Dragon realistically going to be starting to be set up for? LGD walks in to Joe, flash for the quickness, but the massive chunk onto Pace is a nightmare. Keeper's Verdict knocks one away, but Pace is caught inside the Cataclysm. No feather puller, and Climber just brings down Pace. Still didn't have the flash after the grubs. Gonna set up around the objective. It's a brawl in mid lane that will still lead towards the Dragon being taken. Sassy trading with Scout, still has the Hex Ring. YCX has got flash. Scout needs to be very careful here. They've not seen him resetting. Dragon should be taken by Climber here. Is there a smite on Jaw? No, there is not. Oh, interrupt on XQW, gets the taunt. The Winds of War. Phase rush out to safety. We'll delay the reset, actually, so we'll lose a bit of a wave topside for that. Scout's going up now. Won't be able to do too much in terms of taking turret placements. We'll look at this replay again. So Climber walks up. Oh, the hook goes wide, and that gives Joe the opportunity to quickness on Climber and then try and get in. Actually missed the flag and drag for a second. Oh, no, it's just spectator delay. That's what it is. But Pace gets blasted. Should not quite in range. Get that much damage down, and the fact that the flag and drag came through the taunt, bit of a nightmare there for the side of LGD. Minute till Herald probably will be our next port of call. Worth noting, LGD, 2 of the early objectives are theirs. If they get that Herald, they are the ones who get the feats of strength. When you're wanting to spike really hard at that 1 to 2 item mark, the extra bonus upgrade can be very valuable. Cullen comes on down, Pace eats a lot of that damage. Chunked out before this Herald. Likely lead to LGD starting that one up, at least being in control of it. XQW will use the sweep to spot up the Xiaoxu was in the bush. Herald started. Shun is around. Paige going back mid lane. Will need to pick up that wave realistically before coming on over. Keeper's Verdict. Hooked. Will knock out the Nautilus. Down to 1700 HP, still has the W. So they just get to pick up the Herald. Okay, good contest, good Keeper's Verdict. Xiaoxu TP'd in for this. LGD's gonna give that one up. A little bit frustrating. They're the ones to the river first, but Shun with a good angle there for the Keeper's Verdict. It's a fair amount of value. Now I'm going to try and collapse topside. Potentially just drop the Herald and Overload here. Are you going to need to bother? I don't think they will. 3 grubs, but no Herald drop required for JDG. The grubs, of course, are largely LGD's way. Couldn't use them there is what I was trying to get at. But a Realm Warp in. Knocked up on the flag and drag. Cataclysm comes on through. Scout flashes out. Sassy and XQW in the backside. The hero's entrance already haven't come through. But look where Scout is. Way too deep and goes down. Featherpull exhaust on the pace. He's the flash where he's been so slow. Culling will force the Feather Storm. Taunt after. Can't find the pull until he's already dead. LGD just skirmishing better. Overloading the defensive tools. JDG trying to make the proactive move, and it goes real wrong. They try to jump onto Climber. The hero's entrance to public execution. And suddenly the team is way too split up. Flag and drag is interrupted this time by a really good ground entrance. You think, okay, Climber can have a horrible time. But gets the Cataclysm off the Equalizer to safety. And then Sassy and XQW have already found their way into the backside. Were forced, actually, none of the JDG members to retreat towards the river. But it's left Scout split off. And then Paige tries to come and defend. Gets exhausted, flashes away. And the exhaust value here is huge. Doesn't have the Feather Caller back up in time to really threaten. That's multiple times now we've seen the Feathers go out and have no real way to pull them back to defend himself on a retreat. LGD up 2,000 gold. Flash down on Pace and Scout again. We know ultimate item of Pace. Dragon's about to come up, and that probably is LGD with that feats of strength marker. Probably. Worth noting if the dragon is stolen because the first turret went the way of JDG. Could end up being theirs, but they need to steal it. Of course, Shunster's done a decent job of knocking key members away and contesting in the re-engage on the re-intake. Shun's going to drop Herald mid. Bit of chunk, not too much more. The Savior comes up to clean it up. Sassy and Climber tasked with cleaning up this dragon. Public execution. Trading relatively well here. In comes the redemption. Should leave Xiaoshu relatively healthy. TP in from Rise. Hang on, everyone's coming in now. YCX going to be in danger as I think he is going to get burned down. Pace picks that one up. Xiaoshu still stepping on forwards. Gets a decent amount of speed. Flashing now on top of Climber. Flash from Shun looking for an engage. Flash out from Climber. Sassy has to backstep. That'll be turret, you would imagine, for JDG. Scout will turn up. Escort a wave onto this turret. XQW wasn't there. His top side will look to try and trade out on that top tier 1, but nice reactive play there from JDG. Hayes also getting a good wave into mid lane. This isn't bad from them, actually. TP out behind. Turret was secured. But they now need to... They're going to try and use the Zyra comeback. They've done it! They couldn't break the shield! Rakan started backing early, allowing Pace to stick around for longer because he can just tag along with the Rakan taxi ride back to base. Really elegant, that. Have a look at the replay. Because Zhu's going to start resetting now. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, back to life, never mind. Public execution on top of Pace! Heal, redemption, Rune Prison. Sassy does manage to slide away on one side. XQW needs to flash on the other. Savior caught in the Equalizer. Isn't doing all that much value. Depth charge onto Scout to stop him chasing on to his Lucian. But this time, there's enough tools to keep Pays alive. Sassy Rune Presence, Scout beginning to unload, and Xiaoshu burns down the Galio. Sassy has to flash away, and LGD try to pull the trigger on Pays and can't bring him low. And the Avengers assemble. And now they can turn to Atakan. Big prize for JDG. How does this one start? So I think they just try to jump onto Pays. Steals the Grog, jumps onto Shun. I don't actually know how valuable that is. Keeper's Verdict knocks the engage away, and then Shun goes, cool, you burned absolutely everything onto me. Sassy does get on top of Pays, but it's not the full combo, right? And so Pays gets to ult, gets healed by the Redemption. Saviour's forced to back away because the Equalizer denies his entrance into the pit. YCX does a decent job just depth charging Scout to try and keep Saviour alive. Scout goes flashing, try and get on top of Saviour. He buys a lot of time there to force Sassy to flash out at the back end of the well. But that was a weird old choice on ult targets by Climber, and is rightly punished. Gold lead now non-existent. JDG happily back in this one. I've got Atakan. Got Feat of Strength. Still vaguely favouring LGD, but it's really not particularly extravagant, is it? A minute until Mountain Dragon, and that would be sole point for LGD. That would be a way back in. Hex Drinker picked up for Sassy. Hook into the public execution, depth charge. Run warp now coming on in. The Equalizer back is pretty solid. Pace will Featherstorm the wrong direction, but stays alive. Climber flashing out, having thrown down the Cataclysm. They've killed off Xiaoshu 1-for-1 right now. Hook again. Ward's not great in that push. Saviour on the other side, getting a lot of damage down on top of Scout and Shun. To the backline goes SQW, gets the taunt. They do get Pace. Saviour flashing over. Is stopped by the Steadfast Presence. Overload comes on through, and Sassy will Drake House that. Shun gets a stun in the wall. To Scout finally falls, but Shun with some miracle work. I think it'll be a 5-for-4. Blood in the river. But it is JDG that climb out of the pile of corpses. I thought Saviour had it, but an insane Steadfast Presence from Shun denies so much from Saviour. And Scout just got to unleash. So the big thing here from LGD is they have control with the control wards over this river. That bush is so important to deny them a lot of vision. Climber does go down. Saviour's not even here at the start. He's finally here now. He has to get a lot of damage. It's really onto Shun, who's body blocking a lot. XQW gets taken low. They do manage to blow up Pays, and Saviour tries to flash to get the combo on Scout. And can't because of the Steadfast Presence. Sassy goes to get the kill onto Scout, but he goes golden. Shun stuns into the wall. Full combos to prevent Sassy from getting the last auto he'd require to get the kill. Really clutch stuff from the mid jungle of JDG. Because on the whole, I think LGD had the better angles in those fights. Exceptional button pressing from JDG though. Finds the needle in the haystack to get out of it. Keeper's Verdict goes wide. Hook also goes wide. Control on the river. It's LGDs. They have largely been first in the river this series. JDG, however, on the retakes have been very strong. Shun in particular deserves a shout out for being really, really exceptional. 100% KP, only member on the field to not have died so far. Very good Poppy game. Yep, Tenchi agreed. Pulling over the wall. Quickness. Buy some time, trying to battle down tower. Hero's entrance. Xiaoshu has to flash away. Big feather pull. Sassy now forced to back on the other side of Xiaoshu. On the wrong side of the Raptors, still fighting good flame spinner angle, and Rise is free firing. Saviors get a hold of at least one. Can't get Xiaoshu. And they just end up in the corridor on top of a barbecue. These cataclysms haven't been it. Yeah, kind of agree. LGD try to pounce. JDG have summoners and abilities to get out, and suddenly LGD are themselves caught in the trap. Level up again. It's initially a good chunk. Xiaoshu down a half. Zhou buys time with the quickness. YC extends the hook on a Xiaoshu, but they can't land the kill. The flash out denies the public execution. Now you've used public execution and Hero's entrance. Climber tries to do it himself on the other side, has the Cataclysm out to safety. But all the while, Savior just can't quite get the last auto off. The Scout's free firing on the side, and Sassy just doesn't have enough in the tank right now to kill off this giga-fed Rise, who's 2,500 gold up. Nothing really to fight for there, obviously. Baron has been picked up by JDG, worth noting. Over the wall. Climber, though, will buffer out with the flag and drag. Tier 2 gonna fall. Really a lot to be done there as LGD. Four-one push continues. Hook. Into the depth charge, that's pretty good. Joy gonna defend. Keeper's verdict from Shun. Oh, he's been so good this game. When he's on, he's on. Thank you, Pika Pika, for the resub 4 months. Damn. We've really got you now. Thank you for coming and supporting us. It really does mean the world. Inhibitor down in mid lane. Dragon sporting soul point on the board for JDG. And LGD, I suppose, but really, by the look of that pathing, LGD are just saying, look, we're going to have to give this up. I want to try and take that skull grab. They're TPing on this. Climber's in danger. They can flash over the wall. The equalizer for the slow. JDG looking to get a kill on the jungle, potentially find what they need to end this game right here. Zhou, pace, splitting targets. Looking at YCX. The taunt comes on through from the shield of round just to punch out. Zhou looks for the quickness, can't quite find it. And JDG go looking for the quick killer, can't do it. And that's actually going to leave LGD the opportunity to start up the dragon. JDG, that was too cute. They're going to lose the dragon for that. That's soul point to LGD. Smart from Savior there to go over the back of the wall to reset in case people are looking for the obvious options there. Thank you, by the way, Inky Blob, for joining us. For the first time, Prime subbing as well. Welcome to the crew. It's a good time to be joining us here in LPL Playoffs. Knight's rival stage, I suppose, is strictly the term for it. Post-regular season. 4 minutes until Sol, minute and a half until Baron. Fighting over this tier 2 now. Equalizer coming on down. Who's verdict? Knocks one. Ah, but XQW buffers 3 with the Justice Punch. Unusual. I've seen that interaction before. Great commentary. Shame there's no official LPL stream anymore, but really appreciate you guys putting on a few times a week. Oh, of course, Inky Blob, honestly, we are here pretty much every day. There's maybe like a day a week where we're not, if that. It is an honor to be doing this for you guys, so really do appreciate the support. Thank you for coming and saying hi. Is Knight's Rivals in reference to the player Knight? I don't actually know, honestly. I could maybe go ask him. Maybe Iris will know. I can go ask her. Big engage from YCX, immediately punished, down for the count, but as the backside goes, Sassy who's CC'd, he's in a 1v4! Pace finally goes up into the sky, will get the exhaust put down on him, and Sassy is dead. The problem is on the other side, Scout has found and deleted Save Yet. He'll get a triple. He might be looking for a little bit more. Can he get the quadra? Scout gonna try and find a little bit more as the overloads come on in. Xiaoshu's the one that picks it up. Sassy survived, everyone else most certainly did not. Shun's going to be disappointed he finally didn't get involved with a kill. But I think he'll be happy enough with a Game 1 victory. LGD with some good all-ins early on in the game. But as the game has gone on, Scout and Shun have just team fought better. LGD's target selection, map location in terms of where they were picking fights. The terrain choices were poor. And JDG turn the screws in the mid and late stages to bring themselves a Game 1 victory. No way J4 missed that EQ. Yeah. Hate to say it, but yeah. Hey, hello, folks.
That you're the greatest Ari player ever.
There you go. You hear it there, folks. Oh, I think Shun's probably going to end up being our MVP here. Also, fun that people never make mistakes at the top. Yeah. That's a wild reference, Trinity. I mean, you're not wrong, but wow. Oh dear. Oh, compliment for Duo. Absolutely. And a hello to Solo Puppy as well for that record. And hello to Akashi. Hello. Compliment. I need to get hydrated. Yes, I will do that. I'll get myself some more coffee for the next one. Yeah, see, LGD, solid goal lead, and then boom. All wrong. Not a great game from Climber. I think, honestly, for LGD, this was a coordination issue more than anything. They weren't all inning together. And it gave enough license for the likes of Scout and Pays to survive, basically, for various reasons. But yes, let me do the quick spiel. Hello, folks. I'm Initialise. Nymaera is taking the day off, but it does mean it's just me today, bringing you all as much action as I can. So thank you all for coming and hanging out here on the channel, looking after us all. It is much, much, much appreciated. For those of you who have not done so already, please do make sure to follow the channels. If you're not following the Twitch, if you're not following the YouTube, if you're not following Anivia's YouTube, you're missing out. Make sure you're doing that. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Just make the discoverability a hell of a lot better. Do get involved. Do get chatting. It makes a massive difference for us. For those of you who can, consider subscribing on Twitch with Twitch Prime. If you've had a couple of Twitch Primes today already, thank you so much for all of those of you who did so. Really does help support us do what we're doing. We are reliant on all of you back home to look out for us because there is no official LPL broadcast anymore. So any support you can give us does help keep us doing this because it ain't cheap or free. Really, for us to be doing this, we need to live our lives. We need to buy food and pay rent and all those kinds of things. So we do need all of you back home who can to help support us however you can. And subscribing on Twitch is a great way to do that. The other good way to do that, especially if you're not a Twitch user or don't really want to subscribe, is the Ko-fi link. We have got a Ko-fi. Please donate to the Ko-fi if you want to support us that way. And it is much, much appreciated if you do. And finally, already pinned in chat, thank you very much, Trinity is, of course, League Mastery, which is effectively a coaching website that is really, really, really awesome. And it's effectively a really cool website put together by Hedon, who you may know as one of the recent LEC coaches. It's done some really cool work with, of course, a number of teams, Fnatic and Ruddy Sack actually back in the day as well. Was on Excel as well briefly. Done some really cool stuff. It's put together a coaching website to teach you much more about League of Legends. That's stuff in terms of like how the hell do you climb, what's good intentionality about how you learn to improve and healthy habits and that kind of thing from coaching perspectives, which is a really valuable series. Actually, highly recommend checking it out. There's loads of one tricks on there showing you how to play their champions and all the tricks and tips they've learned. Watley's on there showing you all the crazy Tom Kent tech he knows, and he's a psycho. Saw him at NLC finals, and the man's brain for League of Legends and for Tom Kench is pretty insane, despite all of the trauma he's endured, which is kind of crazy, actually. And last but not least, of course, is we're going to be on there putting up a casting guide. So for those of you who want to get a bit better about esports stuff and casting and what goes into the art of casting, that's the next series coming on up. It's cheaper to join now than at any point in the future because it's still middle of being constructed. So there's already some videos up, there's already some great guides up, but there's more coming, and now is the time to get involved and get stuck in. If you use the link we have given up, we get a bigger cut because we are creators ourselves, so please do use our link if you're thinking of joining. Much love if you do. Become a pro yapper, basically, Yoda, yes. And yes, Duo, I do owe you a compliment still. Just need to just do the spiel. So, Duo, it is a pleasure to have you hop into every community we're involved with and get stuck in. It's very nice to see someone who's just very lovely getting stuck in the community. You're in all the Discords, you're in all the Discord calls, you turn up to the streams, you interact with the community really well, you're very passionate. It's lovely to see. One of these days, we'll make that arena cast happen. It'll happen. Much love, much love, much love to one of our longest standing and most active community members. Yep, Shun with the MVP. I ain't surprised. Roast Trinity. Trinity, all I really need to say to roast you is gaming chair. I'll let your chairs roast you for me. Just do you have one? Is it put together with duct tape? Has it given you concussion yet? Have you decided your infinite wisdom to use another broken gaming chair? For the record, Trinity has nearly managed to off himself multiple times by having gaming chairs that are broken on him. What are you doing on your gaming chairs to break them so much, you know? Is that safe for air? Playing too much Ari, I see. Because I passed out coughing. Sorry, Trinity. We mock other people's pain gently because we care. It is a very British thing. You're not making it better. Yeah, it's true. It was very scary. Honestly, Trinity, no doubt. I'm glad you're all right, mate. And for all I mock you for it, it's mostly because you're here in one piece for us to do that. Yeah, guys, do be careful on your gaming chairs. Yes, they've got a decent lean function, but they can also not. That was a draft issue. Poppy, Zaya, into J4lution, not Ambassador. Yeah, like, there are ways with a comp like that where you can basically overload the defensive tools, and they did that early on, but it involves being coordinated, and they were. And they got rightly punished for it, and they did it in choke points repeatedly and got smacked. Anyway, I need to run some adverts. I need to get another coffee. I will be right back because the yapping has been done again. Whoops.
关闭车窗，空调调到22度。
好的，都搞定了。
Oh, my days. My legs hurt so much. I was doing so much walking at NLC.
你好，很高兴我们重新认识。
把生活玩出新意，
自由自在，灵感随行，
用个性的方式画世界，
让眼界突破边界，
让远在天边，近在眼前，
让每一刻精彩不再等待。
上京东搜赛事预测，使用 AI 预测，助你赢1000元耳机。
京东。
我可不会吃掉你，鱼鱼，我们可是闺蜜。多么醉人的夜晚，你说是吗？活力焕发，新会员可以免费享受肉食按摩了。我怎么会忘呢？结束之后，我亲情推荐你到莲华温泉，洗去战斗带来的疲惫。
《
Oh, and we're back. I am returned. It's 6 AM for you, damn. Up and nice and early. You East Coast states then? Compliment for Pintalus. Pintalus, how much of a stomp again? Well, not that much of a stomp, honestly. Started pretty well for LGD, and then mid-game grind happened, basically. Right, what have you? 351 messages. Let me just see exactly what my. Right, who do you is a compliment as well? It's just. Pentalus. Yesterday, you confirmed a really important fact, and that is that Palkia is in fact the new GOAT support and Vampire has been cast aside. And that just tells me you've actually got the ability to learn from your mistakes, and that is a really remarkable trait. So congratulations to you on that one. You're a well-rounded human being. 10 PM here, so you're out somewhere in the East, Liam, I see. 10 PM, that's what? That's a oh god, that's a 10-hour difference. That's gonna be, is that gonna be New Zealand? I think what's that far east? And there's his New Zealand. There you go. Who's the fellow Kiwi? Liam P in Anivia's chat is the answer for that one. Into draft we go, though. Oh, thank you. There you go. You've got your Pentalus. So. Yeah, Kiwi. Here we go. So, Kiwis across chats. Hello, guys. So. Game number 2. LGD batting Varus, Pantheon, Gwen. Yone away from XQW, the Nico away from YCX, Azir also away from XQW. So here's two most played champions. Debating the Wukong lock first. I think if you Wukong, it's Shinzao, Annie from Scout and Shun. Probably. So I think Shinzao's not been fantastic over the last few weeks. Where's the Annie? Don't want to give the Annie Wukong combo. Lee Sin would be fun. The other thing is, of course, there is Trundle, isn't there? Wukong at least into Trundle feels matchable. Can't Jarvan, obviously. Diana would be very fun. Unlikely to be picked right now. I think Shinzao's pretty much a guarantee. There it is. Yorick to Leah. Got the global to support the Yorick. Leah Wukong's a fine combo. Come online a little later than the Annie Shinzo, who are just very valuable from pre-1 item. Whereas the Talia kind of hits this point where she's stacking tier and it's a bit of time. Wukong, obviously very ult reliant, very Trinity Force reliant. Especially if you're behind on the Wukong, Trinity Force doesn't make you tankier, so you can end up dying a bit. So sometimes you need a little bit more time to be truly online and a threat, but still good skirmishing call nonetheless. If you lock Renekton, JDG will be just spiking that little bit more aggressively. Should give them early agency, I think, on the whole. Bot lanes to be locked at this point. Go get some sleep, Trinity. Renata away from a YCX. Yeah, a lot of people want to dive forwards as well. A bit nasty. Bang on the other side. Braum, yeah, what I was wondering. Still got Alistair, Rel, Leona. It's our big engaged trio. So likely trading those ones out. Looking for some more niche options that might catch people off. Nymaera gets all the way through to R5. Not R5, like, it is Red 5 ban, but it's not quite the right term. Still, point stands nonetheless. Does feel like the Nymaera hype has worn off a little here. Not as simple to execute on as I think people were initially wondering about. Corki band, yeah. Does feel like he has a lot of early agency, and I think when you've already gotten a lot of early spikes, adding in a third lane where you could do that might be just a touch too much. Pays one at this point. You could afford a Zeri game here if you wanted. Gonna go towards the Alistair and leave Pays the option to flex into something. Alistair. Good front line, good tank. Could be as abused by any of those armor shredders like the Wukong with his Black Cleaver, and even the Yorick with the Morning Mist can get a bit annoying with that. Rel locked in then in response. It has been the regular matchup for the Alistair. No Corki to pair with it. What a save you're wanting. The Xayah and the Lucian down, which are two of his big options. Varus is out. Corki's out. He's a Draven player, but I don't think it's a particularly good Draven game. Kai'Sa is much more likely and is indeed locked in. Another global. Pair up with the Talia. Just a Sivir angle now. Especially now they've lost the Kai'Sa opportunity. We're scaling AD carry. Sivir. An AoE team fighter. Savior with a little bit more of that mobility. Try and get some punishes down. Good pick from JDG. They do spike earlier for my money with that topside trio. And in the Alistair as well. And you can get that early lead and look to roll from there and have Sivir be your late game security. LGD. 1 to 2 items, level 11. They're really, really online. So if LGD can hold the line or get ahead in the early game, JDG, I think, are going to be in a more problematic position. For my money, anyway. Not that LGD skirmish badly, not that they have bad ways to win the game. They've got double globals and a Yorick split push win con. That can be pretty scary, but again, you really do want at least one item here. Very least. I don't know how easy that's going to be to get a hold of. The volume in good order. Prepare ourselves for game number 2 of this series. Bid you all adieu. How are we feeling about these drafts? What's the stake for the winner of this series? 240 heads. That's actually a fairly good question if you've not been paying attention. Listen to the Jayos first, and then I will answer for you.
联盟 敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎他们。
So, now that gyros are done, let me elucidate on that a little bit here. It's a very valuable question, especially if you are a little new to the LPL or League of Legends in general. Welcome, glad to have you in here. But we are playing for the last slots in playoffs. So if you win, you are in playoffs. If you lose, you're done. And the teams that are in this play-in stage, which we kind of called the Knights rival stage for branding purposes, I suppose, is the bottom 4 teams from the upper group and the top 4 teams from the lower group. We're playing off against each other. This is the last of those series to go, with JDG against LGD. You're then knocked out from playoffs. The key with this as well is it means you could not then get more championship points to go towards Worlds as well. Obviously, you can't just win the split to get towards Worlds that way either. So your ability to go on to international competition matters on that front. Page gets flashed on with the mount up from YCX. Heals and Ghost Burns there. Nice little angle. With that level 1 mount up. Gets the additional summoner down. Worth noting, YCX again with the aftershock. Punted out of the crash down. Well played from Jaw. Does actually deny the aftershock. Level 2 still hit by Savior. And YCX, despite it could have been Sivir just ricocheting the wave down. Worth noting that somehow the lower group has the upper hand. 2-1 wins. Yes, indeed. I mean, EDG was perhaps not that surprising. Some of the others, yeah. A little bit wild, I'm not going to lie. NIP getting the win over FPX was a bit more dubious. 3-2 bot side. Jaw getting the headbutt back, but NY6 still had the aftershock. He's now pretty deep. Still has the heal to work with. Mid lane we're looking. Win becomes lightning knock up. And the mid jungle, Shin Sao Annie will smash XQW, who flashed and still didn't manage to find a way to safety. Another headbutt pulse, shattering strike. Crash down onto Jaw. He's going to be forced to flash away. Back damage with the passive coming on through. Actually, all that plasma stack puts Pace in a difficult location. Saves with more HP to work with. No pots for Pace makes this one interesting. He's still level 2. They're both still level 2. Bot playing with fire here. Really been about top lane so far, has it? Xiaoshu's getting good early shove. His Renekton has been so strong this split. This matchup was near unplayable for Renekton before Yorick nerfs, but he isn't even that nerfed, so just Xiaoshu being a Renekton savant. I mean, very much true. I think at the minute, to be fair, Castle, Renekton does tend to get, at least from what I've seen, like a 5 or so CS lead and shove early on before the Yorick can get towards some levels and say a Trinity Force or whatever, and then things start rolling around. But I think on top of that, you're right. Xiaoshu is arguably the best Renekton in the league right now, which is crazy talk. But he is just so good at the champion. Yeah, there are definitely... If you land a lot of your Morning Mists, Renekton Q early on basically didn't clear ghouls. So, if you land a lot of good Morning Mists and you get a lot of good Graves, Xiaoshu goes in for a slide and just ends up eating an insane amount of damage from ghouls. Especially if you get early anti-heal. See Bramble Vest, and that makes things quite interesting. Normally, I prefer Steel Caps early. But Bramble Vest, yeah, not bad. In fact, both have got early anti-heal here. YCX Flash, Phaseful Spell Shield, not needed. Though I do think it is more playable since the Yorick nerfs. I've seen a lot more Yorick's fumble or take too long to get online. And that Yorick isn't winning 1v2s at the minute. Climber slides away. Let's hold the Grom. Dominus hit. Dark Procession in comes Mom. Not Mom, more Maiden. Sassy, I think, might just be dead here. It's got Doran's shield. Morning Mist. Shun's in a lot of danger here. Last Right's down. Good slide away. Xiaoxi looking to join with a really good angle. Flash for the dice. Goes over the wall. Last Right. Xiaoxi and Sassy now trading coins out of the Dark Procession. And he's getting sucked up by the Maiden. Oh, it was a gorgeous angle from Xiaoxi, but Shun is late on the flash. And 2 kills go the way of the Yorick early. Yeesh. The problem was Sassy did drop a lot of that wave to make that play happen. So the gold lead is still actually nominally Renekton's. But a couple kills going the way of the Yorick is a big, big deal. Nice angle from Climber to say, actually, you're here by yourself. We can punish this. So Xiaoshu sees the angle. Dice is over the Dark Procession and says, okay, I'm now not trapped in here. It's a lot of damage down and Sassy left very low. I wonder whether Shun just needs to hold on to that one becomes lightning. Because Climber just then goes, yeah, I've got this angle. Knocks up the clone, Shun! Slices through the Maiden. Flash for that. Dice after. It was really nice from Xiaoshu, but then Sassy's flashed on top of Morning Mist. Gets trapped inside the Dark Procession. Not a lot you get to do there, Xiaoshu, with all your cooldowns down. I mean, it'll still deny Cold Meat healing, won't it? And its armor. So I'm fairly certain Bramble Vest's still pretty good into Yorick, because you want the armor and the anti-heal is still good to deflect Q healing, who will proc Bramble Vest by coming in with Slice and Dice and Qs anyway, no? Unless I've misunderstood how that interaction works, which is always possible. SQW coming on over. They'll spot the ward in here. Sure coming on out. Grubs. TP away from Annie. They've taken 2 and they're happy with it. That's correct. Okay. Especially because Saber's shutting out. Scout tried to find the angle with Tibbers. Couldn't quite get the stun. Two grubs went the way of JDG. They should have marked towards feats of strength, but they don't. That's weird. There we go. Flash on forwards. Force a flash out from the duel. Apologies, that's the way that happened. Pei's now sent to mid lane to be the wave clear machine. Look how much better this is now for Sassy than it was. Can actually get shoved on occasion. It's still down 20 CS. But the 2 kills mean that losing that wave on the turret really doesn't matter as much. JDG collapse on the second objective. We'll pick that one up as well. So they get early grubs and early dragon. What are we playing for next? It really is going to be a bit of a quieter time here as LG didn't actually pick up the last grub either, so it's just a single grub. Stood in the best saying, why is it still saying grubs up? I realized because that last grub hasn't actually been picked up. Huh. Okay. Trinity Force now done. Full climber. It's going to be a quieter period here. JDG happy enough being up 1,000 or so goals. Sassy, Dark Procession, but Xiaoshu saves the dice to get on through it. Shun also coming on up. Dominus was hot for that. Xiaoshu going to use the opportunity to try and kill the Maiden. Yeah, will do. Good work from Xiaoshu. Worth it. That's going to put the Maiden on a very long cooldown. Early on as well, no cooldown to be seen. Climber will pick up that remaining grub. Ta-da! Wind becomes lightning. Jump over the wall, headbutt, pulverize, somewhat interrupted by the shattering strike. That was actually very clean from YCX. He interrupts the pulverize, so he actually gets headbutted to safety. He'd been a very dead rel otherwise. XQW needs to be a bit wary here. Zoned off this turret. I'm going to come over and potentially contest this. Weaver's wall. Can't pin anyone up. XQW. That's a bit much. Still lands the seismic shove. Turn around with a man geek storm. Gets a kill for Savior. Flash to the backside. Shun with the crescent guard rolling. Does manage to not pick up the rep buff. Is now in a 1v3. Will likely die. And a 5th kill in the game for LGD. Still, JDG did get the first of the kills there. So they get the mark towards a feat strength, but give up a couple extra kills. Oops. Actually, no, it is LGD who picked it up. I do apologize. That makes much more sense. Yeah, that was a bit much from JDG. Had the lane prior, but not the members, and weren't respectful of the double global between Savior and XQW, who can, in fact, collapse really quickly. We said they could. We said, actually, come mid-game, they'd be in a very good position for that. We'll have a look again. Scouts only here now. They try to punish XQW, who does get stunned, but gets a flash out to safety, and then it's a good seismic shove, and the Magnet Storm is excellent. The Pulverize is fine, but takes just a little bit too long to get the kill. Onto XQW, and Shun ends up trading his life for it. Burn claims the last of those minions. Courtesy of a Molten Shield. Bit of Thorn's work. Mild gold lead to JDG. Again, we were just chatting, look. LGD come online once those first items start coming on through. Once level 11 comes on in. Double Trinity full spike is pretty huge. Savior, Kraken Slayer. And Supercharger forwards. Pays trades well there with the Boomerang Blade and the ricochets though, so Savior ends up getting on the wrong end of that trade a little. Looking for something here. Flash for the knock up on the Cyclone. Pays gets the back away, has the on the hunt roll. Shun looking to turn around. Still another turnaround angle potentially in. Gets the ult off Jaw and Pays. Topside Sassy in danger. Flash on forwards looking for the Q healing, but the Bramble Vest doesn't matter. Dice is away, will die. But it's the wave denied. And a solo kill. For Xiaoshu, the tower has to return the favor for Sassy still. 3-1 is the Yorick. Don't know how clean that'll be in the grand scheme of things, denying the wave. Probably means JDG will get a hold of this Herald, and therefore also the Marks will defeat Strength. And now all in on first turret to get those upgraded boots. Interrupts the TP. That's what happened with the Dark Possession. As does the play happening mid lane. That makes a lot more sense. And goes looking for the all-in. And goes 1 for 1. Can't quite get out. Didn't have the flash anymore, so ends up being a dead crocodile. Still up nearly 1,000 gold. Scout gets the turret as well. So that is now feature strength for JDG into the stun. Onto Sassy, who eats a lot of damage. Upgraded boots secured. Joe in the backside looking for a headbutt angle. Weaver's wall. Breakable will buy some time, but that's just a massive split from YCX who goes down. Xiaoshu getting a lot of damage. Massive heal. Doesn't die till just now. Sivir with the double kill. Savvy needs to try to supercharge right into the wind. Becomes lightning. And a charge that is so very audacious. To make that a 3 for 1, Xiaoshu gladly trades his life there. Another wave being denied topside puts the screws on in terms of the CS discrepancy. Herald down as well for another turret. And JDG just explodes. They found themselves with a mighty Goldie. Will Herald out to something resembling safety. Sivir needs to be a little wary here. Battle Herald for damage on Grob. Hell yeah. At this point, Shun's got his 3 Talon Strike stacked. And finds a lot of damage as Y6 goes over and gets interrupted before he gets a good combo because he has 3 Talon Strike. Savior at least gets 1. But unfortunately can't find his way out. Man, Xiaoshu is so strong though right now. Up 40 CS. 1,000 gold. The other big issue is Pays is very, very scary on the Sivir. Well ahead of curve versus this Kai'Sa, who's also down 40 CS. Weaver's Wall's not been great this game. Yeah, they had the one in the jungle that went their way, but it didn't feel like it was particularly executed well. XUW is a Talia player, so we hold to the standard of, like, you should be able to hit your R button correctly. Sassy bonking on Scout. He doesn't have that much mana, can still stun. He's got to run away here with the Molten Shield. Sassy down to 10%. Climber. Gonna go for this invade. I don't know how easy this is gonna be. Move his wall up. Keep his not keep his Killer Instinct. Still got Poppy on the brain from last game. I think from this game state, you have to favour JDG. 2 items on the Sivir. So we just get more resources on the map. Proving a touch difficult. Shojin done now for this. Renekton as well. None of that Sundered Sky nonsense. Wants as much upfront damage as he can get. How many abilities he can get as well. That's a lot of ability haste. Toga, I see the compliment. 2 whole messages. You know what, Toga? I'm gonna hold on it, because we've got a Hex Dragon coming. But I've seen it. Someone may need to remind me, but I've seen it. Kind of want to wait until after the dragon / little section here. I think we're about to experience, as they say, violence. Going on Xiaoshu. It's Conqueror stacked. Chunk onto Sassy. Shojin comes on down. Dices through. Dominus culls the meat. And Xiaoshu is dead. Now there is teleport available. Xiaoshu might be in danger to Savior here. Can look for it, but now they know that the Kaiser's not there. They can start a Vatican. Xiaoshu trying to dice away. Oh, Savior! Flashes on forwards with the Killer Instinct and the... So the Acathian Rain. Pei's going to be forced to ult away as well as the Weaver's Wall came on down. Ghost also comes on in, gets a decent chunk back onto XQW. Good spacing. All the while Atakan is still happening. They can't finish it up. Ends up being the 1-for-1. Savior now coming on in. Looks for the Acathian Rain. Good chunk on the Pei. Doesn't have that much to work with. Forced to reset. W spell shielded. Gives himself the heal. But now down to Atakan. Play TP's come in. 5,000 HP, it's a flip. Civ is not there, Kaiser's not there. Sure goes on top of YCX. Is going to be left pretty low, forced to flash up. That's Atakan to LGD. Oh no. That's unfortunate. Hey, Mecha. I'm hoping we get a replay there, because we didn't see what was happening around the Atakan to lead that one up, because JDG, with Kaiser bot side, surely had a 4v3 around Atakan. How did it end up like this? Okay, so Savior was in base and goes mid. Back to live we need to go, though. Knockup's coming on through, Scout low, but healed up by the Redemption. Climber needs to get over the wall and does so. YCX desperately low. They lose Climber. Xiaoshu trading on the other side. The Dominus there. Looting out a lot of damage. So many cooldowns. Savior gets a hold of the Alistair. But XQW is eaten by the Crocodile. It's primeval stuff. Another Cull the Beak. So my day. Shojin value is unreal. And Xiaoshu just unloads in the backline. Scout will disintegrate his opposite number. And the Hex Dragon is secured. Xiaoshu's Renekton, folks. Starts with people looking for the picks. YCX misses his Shattering Strike. They still manage to find all in, but can't blow up Scout. The Redemption heal is enough, and now they are way too deep, and YCX on the retreat comes on through. Watch Xiaoshu on this flank in a second here as well. It's going to get the Dominus and get obscene value. Savior gets one, but it just puts him in range for another Xiaoshu combo. He's gone. Lack Cleaver and Shojin, so as long as he is automing, as long as he's pressing abilities, the cooldowns are so damn short. Yeah, Xiaoshu's Renekton in particular is god tier. Up 40 CS. Yep. Hex Dragon again doesn't deny the point that JDG tried to play a little bit too eagerly around bot lane and mid lane and Atakan simultaneously. End up kind of biting off more than they could chew and are deservedly punished. Gage. YCX crashed down away. Scout looking for some damage back. This is actually a very good angle initially from the side of LGD. As Xavier gets into the backside, takes out the Civet. Will be traded back for it. Scout low. In fact, just about surviving. XQW forcing a number of the members away. The problem is Scout just gets to whack a few people at the back end of it. Xiaoshu mid lane. AD carries are the ones that end up trading their lives. YCX now very deep and up a creep, but Jewel going to get jumped by XQW with the Weaver's Wall. Will likely die here. And that's the extra member. Additional global buy some time. Sassy will defend themselves with the Dark Possession. Does end up being a 2-for-1 there for LGD. Doesn't lead to Baron. Doesn't really lead to anything, honestly. But hey, a couple extra kills, no bad thing. Savior now. 6 kills. Gold is back to nearly even between the AD carries. Got 3 items. Despite being down 60 CS, by the way. Power of shutdowns, folks. Solo caster, yeah, Alex's voice is a bit fried from yesterday. So he's taking the day off. Very understandable. I've been away at Leagues Disrupt for NLC. Flash, incinerate, knock up, good engage, Climber survives. Gets the blast cone away. He's now down to 10%. There's no camps really. They're starting it up. Hex gates potentially allow an angle back in. Over the wall with the Hex gates. YCS looking for an angle. Jaw down to half HP. Xiaoshu spotted out on the flank, but still an unreal threat right now. YCX unspotted. Pays in danger. Flashes away, but there's the engage. Shun trying to turn that one around and keep Pays alive. They can't do. XQW helps pick it up for Civet. As Xavier gets to at least the problem is he's dead as well. 80 carries traded. Xiaoshu on the backside. Can't quite kill Y6, but burns the flash. Looking for some more value. The rest of the fight is gone. LGD's way to collapse from the globals. And now they're the ones on top of this Baron. Reset from Talia, who has to teleport. Xiaoshu has to 1v3. And Short being low and YCX is engaged. Makes this a Baron for LGD. Oh dear. Xiaoshu's going to get wave shoved in mid and then maybe look to fight around this dragon that's spawning now. Maybe we just do it all over again around the Hex Dragon without the flank angle. YCX with a really important pickup. You see that JDG's comp looks a lot less dangerous without Xiaoshu absolutely terrorizing the backline. And with Pays dead. Just starts this play. Half HP. They don't have wards on YCX. So he gets to jump onto Pays, who does flash out, but there is an angle for Xavier to ult in. Shun tries to flash engage, but can't peel well enough. Shun gets shunted away. Flash from XQW, and Sassy gets to walk on forward. Jaw flashing for the pulverize that he misses, by the way, which means that XQW just gets to threaded volley for more. Dragon's up. That's actually going to be soul point for JDG, who are much more interested in getting towers right now. They'll give up soul point for it, but they'll pick up the standing gold and get a significant gold lead now. By the way, this Kais is now 1,000 gold up. Nearly at a death cap, by the way. Nearly at GA. Is Shun. 3 items for Civic, got the Flicker Blades. Being able to cycle through abilities as fast as you damn well can is going to be very, very important in this game. I feel like Hourglass would have been better choice than Deathcap. Yeah, generally speaking, I'm not going to lie. Void Staff is more valuable on Kai'Sa anyway because she wants the penetration. Her AP scalings aren't actually that fantastic. If you want damage, Void Staff, guys, or... I would have said Crippling, but Crippling's just kind of been nerfed into the dirt. Or Zhonya's, as you're right. Utility on it is just better. Deathcap done nonetheless. Question we now ask, can Sivir survive the engage? If she does, JDG are fine. If not, something of an inversion from last game where LGD had the good start and then things fell apart. This time around, LGD were getting diffed in terms of the CS leads in bot and top in particular. The team fights have been trickier. We did kind of say from draft, like, look, you start getting 2-3 items on some of these champions. Harder to manage. Sassy now actually very problematically back to nearly even. Savior have any pentas? I can see the angle. I can too. I think if it starts off particularly with getting that kill on the Sivir and dancing away from the rest. I'll cleanse up. Bloodletter's Curse done. 4 scout for a bit more pen. I don't know whether that was going to be too little too late. See. 1.5 until Hex Salt. That's JDG's angle back in, honestly. Xiaoshu being Kyler around by the Ryalize. I think Xiaoshu's going to have his Sterax procs here. Getting TP'd on. Gets the Dominus angle. It's 4 people in, though. He's just dead. Well. The collapse has come on in. Teleport from Sassy. It's the only thing extra burned. Xiaoshu, the power of this Renekton is beginning to dwindle. It's not really been his fault this game, but that's an unfortunate moment. And that's now going to give Yorick free time to shove a lane. JDG don't have to take this dragon. They can afford to give it up. It'll be second for LGD. I just don't know whether leaving the game to scale is a win con. They've got wards behind for the teleport. Thank you very much for that one, observers. Xiaoshu now picking up the Spectres. Carl needs some defensive tools. Can TP behind. We'll have Dominus. We'll have Flash. Collapse onto Joe's. Left alone. We'll have Bud out vaguely. Does heal to sidestep the seismic shove. Dragon started. TP angle available. They're pinging for Baron. JDG more interested in playing, but that one couldn't really get into the river to contest in time. Weaver's wall. Splits one off. XQW hit by the wind becoming lightning. Watch draw here. He potentially got a flash angle, I'm just saying. Didn't have any vision there, but look, my goat vampire would have flashed that wall. He would have. He would have died for it. He would have laughed at it, but he would have flashed it. You're going to cleanse off the spellbook. At this stage, spellbook becomes increasingly valuable for your supports. Finds some raw heal, pays. Does get hit by that W, the Void Seeker. Looking for an engage on forwards. There's a lot of damage onto YCX, who gets onto Pays, who just gets the glance away. Not the on the hunt rolling. In goes Duo. XQW forced to back on out. They've killed off Sassy as well. And Pays survives the engage. We said it was key. And they got what they need to pick up the Baron. Still 3 members available. It's the damaging members. Weaver's Wall, Killer Instinct. There's a world where you can contest. Is the poke going to be scary enough? They're just going to give it up. Win condition unlocked. Pays survives the team fight. Oh, look at the replay. Because it starts a little bit awkwardly because they land the W onto Pays and you think, maybe there's an angle here. Shun, you'll note, had the 3 talent strikes all ready to go though. It means YCX tries to get on top of Pays, who's really swift on the flash. It's just a little bit too obvious. The Savior never finds the angle that pros the Killer Instinct button. XQW never finds the Weaver's Wall angle. Now Baron is JDG's will finally get this tier 1. Has been haunting them all game. It's only their 3rd turret in the game. 38 minutes deep, guys. "38 minutes deep. Minute till Soul. That's going to be where this is decided, isn't it? Probably. Thornmail done for Sassy. Sonya's done. Alongside Oblivion Orb for XQW. Void Stab for Savior. That is a full build Kai'Sa, folks. Or about Mortius for Pace. That's a full build Sivir, folks. Xiaoshu? Oh, baby! He wants this. How much does he want it? Oh, kill off the Maiden, actually. How much does that matter in a team fight? I think I'd rather have Dominus. I'm not going to lie to you. Still, forces LGD to kind of reset awkwardly. They've still got better control over the river. They've had better control over a lot of these objectives, honestly, this series. JDG have been on the retake the pit angle. Scout. Off vision. Nose climbers there. Eyes on that. Scout could really deny that engage. Here we go. Stun comes on forwards. Incinerate, Disintegrate doesn't really do all that much damage. And he's not exactly the highest scaling champion. Weaver's Wall splits the pit. Shun still in here. Dragon going down low. 5 seconds on Dominus. That'll be a big break point. Annie still denying the engage. And Shun picks up the Dragon. Hexol for Jing Dong Gaming. And now Xiaoshu the backside snaps up the Iron Horse. Flashing. Killer Instinct will mean nothing. as XQW needs to go golden. Lightning continues to fly. Scout can't get the kill. Savior next to OHB, but Tibbers smacks down Kaiser. Tibbers healing. He's going to keep walking at Sassy. There's a stun. And Yorick crumbles. Hamlet can be quoted all you like. I think JDG are much more interested in the end of this play. Act 2 completes. It's full of twists and turns. But the climax of it all is JDG winning. Shun with a steady smite ski will get the Hexal. And Climber just could not get past the firewall. Scout with a wonderful bit of body blocking as the rest of the team full sends. It is not clean. It is not easy. And LGD made JDG sweat. But all sins can be forgiven in the face of victory. JDG have found 2 of them so far. Series point against JDG's better interest, but series point. Xiaoxu with a wonderful early game. Who do you even give MVP to? Scout played well. Xiaoxu, I think it's probably Xiaoxu who had the best hands this game. Though Scout played actually the late stage of that game quite well. Pace played quite well as well on the Sivir. Him dying was also problematic when it happened. Give MVP to me. All right. Let me do the compliment for Tog. So Tog was a gifted sub. Came in, courtesy of Mecha Fanboy, and has largely been quite quiet. But I just want to say, Tog, thank you for being here. Thank you for asking for the compliment. And we'd love to see you chatting in chat more. Come and say hello. You've stuck around. You've stuck around. After all of the subs, you've actually decided to be part of the community. My compliment is a gentle one to suggest chatting a bit more, coming and saying hello. We'd love to hear more from you so I can give you more personalized compliments. You're more than welcome. But either way, our lurkers are loved. And thank you for sticking around regardless. The 2 messages you sent were grateful ones, thanking Mecha for giving him the sub. Them the sub, I actually don't know. You could be anybody. Toga. It is Toga. Togami Sonato. Is it gonna be Togami? Is it gonna be Togami Sonato or Togami Sonato? I actually don't know because I might be just missing some Japanese in this one. We like the sound of your messages. Alrighty then, guys. I am going to run some ads, get myself some more coffee. I'll leave you with MVP stuff. I'll turn my camera off as well. And I will return in short order with more beverages for Sam.
是暗夜的猎手，更是夜拍的高手。OPPO Find X8 系列夜景人像神器，夜拍超清晰人像 MVP。
TCL X11H 领耀 QD Mini LED 电视，纯净画质，细节尽显，细腻光影，丰富明暗细节，典藏级影像体验。TCL
皇冠战马，更受中国电竞用户喜欢的能量饮料，更受年轻人喜欢的中国能量饮料。中国电竞，当然有我，有能量，当然战马。
奥峰电竞椅，职业战队的选择，连续5年中国电竞椅销量第1。奥峰 G7 专业人体工学电竞椅，22项调节，提供腰颈肩全方位支撑。上官方旗舰店搜奥峰 G7。
今晚碾压局，你的车
就这样了吗？或者说，
开局吗？
开就开。
I'm returned. Hello there. Sometimes you just need the funky tunes. Was that funky tunes? I didn't hear the funky tunes. Let me say hello. Hello there. Do you know the top team? Do you know what all the top team picked their opponents for like the rest of the players? You know, I actually don't. Let me go have a quick look. I believe it will be first place choosing and then going down. Top 4 teams from Group Ascend choose round 1 opponents from play-ins winners by place order, so that's what we expected. And then from there, I think it will be decided by bracket. So we've got TS, AL, IG, BLG picking effectively. So it'll be top always post picking first, IG picking second, BLG picking third, AL getting the remainder. So at that point, basically, you are then looking at loser's bracket down below from there. Is it 12 teams in bracket stage? Top 4 teams? No, it's not, because we're losing 4 teams already, aren't we, from play-ins? So, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So, yeah, because then it's basically losers bracket stuff, which I think is... I actually don't know how losers bracket is decided. Is it going to be losers of X match and X match, or is it... Any other choice is disrespect. Agreed, agreed, agreed. JG versus Bill. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? I think Weibo will be the riskiest one to pick. I agree. Although I can see that EDG may be theoretically risky as someone you have less data on. Because that exactly... Honestly, Liam, there is a world where you pick JDG over EDG. Because EDG, like, you don't have the data on. And they were relatively convincing in their win, honestly. So, I don't know. I can see the argument. I think Top Esports picks NIP, IG picks EDG. Yeah, that's what we're expecting in multiple chats here. So that's the expected order. If it was going to be something different, I could see Top Esports picking NIP, IG picking JDG because they think they got a good matchup there, leaving BOG to face EDG, and then AL get Weibo because no one's picking Weibo. Foolish, foolish option. Don't pick Weibo. So, in draft for game 3. They'll be like, BLG would be happy with JDG. Exactly. And I can sort of see IG saying, like, actually, JDG aren't that great in the early game. We can get away with this. Let's go. And we know JDG. Like IG know JDG. In fairness, what does Sam say? What do I say? Sam pays all of us roughly the same level of attention. Very true. Has requested a comment. So he has. Thank you for that one, Harold. 3 minutes ago. I was a bit distracted looking at all the chats. Harold. What am I going to say about Harold? There's lots of things I can say about Harold. I need to pay... There does have to be a bit of an attention paid to draft here as well. Harold. I really enjoyed listening to you cast on UKEL this year. I think you did really good work. You and Drew did wonderful work there as two of the closer members of this community in there. It's well done. I have told Temporal as much. Good casting, my friend. There you go. Right. Gwen Varas Braum down by LGD. Pantheon Nico, is it? So, yeah, the Nico away from YCX. Pantheon's just Gigaband a lot. Zero also away from XQW. But it does mean first pick Yone. So XQW gets a comfort pick. I think especially here in a deciding game, you want it. I wonder whether the Climber then looks at a Sejuani or a Maokai. JDG very fast to pick up the Aurora, which can make the Yone's life quite difficult. Yunara as well. Yunara I'm less fond of into Yone because unless your ult is up, you are very easy to catch. It's hard to have confidence in LGD after these 2 games. Very much so. Yunara's escape plan is generally through your face. Very much. Very much. They did go towards the Sejuani angle. And then Sassy's on the Udyr. So there's your tank front line. There's your shove. Sassy is one of the few holdouts for Udyr in the LPL. It's him and Cube, wasn't it? That were the big enjoyers of it. Yeah, it hurts. I just saw that message get caught in the auto, but I'm probably not going to let that one... Alright. Second phase. Caitlyn away from save, yeah. Yeah, might have been the angle here, because it's also traps. The Renata also banned out. Jace. from Xiaoshu and the Aatrox, two of his more comfort picks and good AD options. You can still flex the Aurora top side. Still flex the Aurora top side. AD carry and bot lane, just in general for LGD required. Looking at a theoretical top lane requirement and the support from JDG. Draw, always been a bit of a Leona enjoyer. Hey Curium, good to see you. I mean, the thing is, the Udyr is another passive abuser for Sej to work with, right? And that's the theory of it. Is it just Corki and engage? Zeri away from Pays? I mean, if... Oh, actually, Zeri's already not an option because you got the Nymaera, but you can still ban it for the rest of the series if you can get a hold of it. No, they're going to go for the Corki. Early power, can dive with some of the other members. Braum is banned, otherwise that would have been good. Are we going towards YCX's Pyke? No, we're not. We're going to Taric. So, one of the questions we have been raising is how do you find frontline into Trundle? Because Trundle murders most frontliners. It's a really good answer to things like the Scion. It's a great answer to things like the Sejuani, who is unlikely to be able to run Aftershock this game because of that as well. You can end up in negative resists. Taric ult is tankiness that Trundle can't interact with. I think that's quite smart. It's a good scaling option to go with things like the Yone. Even if the rest of your comp is quite early game, it gives you a hyper scaler. Taric scaling is insane, by the way. One of the best scaling supports, or just characters in the game. The heals he gets, the value he gets from his passive is really, really ridiculous. Do keep your eyes on that one. Did give the last pick, the Red 5 Luke Skywalker pick, to Xiaoshu. And he always was a Jax specialist. It does feel like Jax has fallen away from the meta, but this is a way to get in there. Coach is going to fist bump. I largely prefer JDG's comp. I think they skirmish better. I think they've got better side laners. However, I like the LGD of coming with something a bit interesting. XQW gets on his Yone. We've got YCX with something a bit spicier in the Taric, which we don't see very regularly at all. If you can get the Yone Sejuani rolling in particular, a couple early kills on a Corki, maybe that's your way to come back into this. LGD, roll the dice. One last time for our Giles.
敌军还有30秒到达战场，碾碎。
我们永恒不灭。
Theoretically won last time. I really should clarify. JDG are 2-0 up, but it hasn't been clean wins both times.
全军出击。
LGD always able to bring us to another here, theoretically. It's going to be the Spellbook Sejuani. We wondered would that be the case. Off the Trundle being in the game. No other crazy rune choices here. PTA on the Trundle does like to do that. Auto Q Auto will proc it. I do have a little bit of a worry about how much Pays is going to suffer this game, theoretically. A lot of tools to make Nymaera's life very tricky. Has gone towards the cleanse as a result. Jora's gone very deep. Heal for heal. Flash now burned as well, but Gatling gun value is nasty. And being the extra summoner there, Azure goes very deep. It's likely now. Level 2 rush. Actually, cleanse burned as the dazzle landed. He's going to get level 2 here. He's going to Kanmei step by us to level 2. Shield of Daybreak comes on for now. Y6 without cooldown. Dazzle's still not there. The level 2 finally comes on to get the Shield of the Bastion. Looking for the Dazzle Stone. Can't get it. Oh, Y6 flash is late. The Spirit has cultivated the equalizer on the ground from Xavier. He's got the Gatling gun rolling, but no. 2 for 1. As JDG get away with the extra kill. Valkyrie burn ends up being just about enough. I thought Gatling gun might have done it there. Ooh, wow. Oh my god, he's gone! The electrocute and the twofold hex procking at the same time. I wasn't respecting it. And that's why we've seen Aurora's punish Yone's once or twice. So this is the bot lane play. They're about to hit level 2, and Duo times it perfectly. Gets a Shield of Daybreak, and YCX is then in danger. Spirit of Cultivation available. Pei just out of range of the Dazzle. Flashes for the auto, gets it. And Xavier does get the burn, but they don't have wards. Flashes the arc. So doesn't quite go down. To Pei's, and at least Xavier gets one more back. Has actually got more of the minions as well. Climber goes through mid. Does interrupt Scout across the Veil. Passive comes on down, but enough pots to be alright here. Spirit Cleave gives a bit of a shield back, so will help get that shove for the Yone, who had a really rough first back. Pot sign, control wards nabbed. Helldivers ODST pass later. Ooh, I'm down. I need to go play for the ODST thing, so yeah, quite possible. I need to make sure I'm updated actually. But I'm down to play. Cultivation of Spirit activated again. Really lean to all that much. It's an early lead to JDG, right? We are 3-1 here. He got the feat of Warfare, courtesy of that solo kill in mid. Scout went looking. Couldn't find it. Good chunk topside Xiao. She's got level 6. Doesn't have much mana though. Just leave it at that. Sassy with the Wingborne Storm. Just hoping to get that wave shove. She does get attacked by that Wingborne Storm. Turn back around, but there's the grass procs traded. Shield from the Iron Mantle. Oh, Fate Sealed. Climber coming on up as well. Scout needs to be really aware. Does get across the Veil and between worlds, and so will survive. No Glacial Prison available. Junk, XPW. just about getting some decent value back in. Scout, after the early solo kills, had a number of attention points put mid from the Sejuani. That hasn't led to a kill or anything. Has forced him back, hasn't been allowed to remain in control of the wave. Couple plates picked up for Climber. Not started the grubs yet because they're spawn now. There you have him. Are we going to see a fight over him? I think when you've got a Jax and a Nudir and a Yone in the game, grubs sound real good. Trundle as well, actually, for that matter. Chunk onto YCX originally. Lots of level 6s up and available. Eyes on the Cosmic Radiance. Our first one of the game. Climber looking for an angle to get across the wall there with the Arctic Assault. Will lose the Ice Armor. Risk of a Trundle ult. Heal there from YCX. Glacial Prison land for the follow-up. Not fantastic. Flash away. Grubs being secured. XQW with the ult on top of him. Extends it towards his teammates. Now getting it chunked out as the Arc of Ruin comes on down. Xiaoshu gets one. Scout gets another. And LGD tried to play it cute with the Cosmic Radiance. And the stars come out of alignment. Yet none of the grubs give up 3 kills. Oof. Xiaoshu's now in danger. Does have the flash. And a counter-strike. So gets out just fine. So initially, Zhou is buying time. And they're trying to find a way in. Sassy comes on top, and Xiaoshu's keeping him close. It's a good Glacial Prison. And they try to play it out with a Fate Seal. It's a decent flash to stop Shun getting himself caught up. Gets the Cosmic Radiance, but then basically XQW has to rebind his soul. And so the value on that Cosmic Radiance is minimal. Whereas Scout finds an awesome Between Worlds. That was nasty stuff from Scout. He's not really been the main character this series. So I'll say the Rise game was good. The Aurora game is looking to be something out of the vintage draw, which is what we've been asking for from him for a little while. Yeah, positioning was good enough to deny LGD even when they did land some big ults. Dragon now spawning. Actually, it's been up for a while. It's not taken. I thought that'd be the second dragon. No, it's just the first one. 2 kills early on the Jax with 3 grubs. Ugh, not a fan. LGD may have just ended up putting a significant nail in their own coffin there. LGD in general have been playing for river retakes, really. Not the first setup. And don't get me wrong, they've got good ways to force their way into the river with Sejuani, with Yone, with Taric offering them protection on top of that. Udyr as well can find his way in, and that's all well and good. Joe's gonna find Climber. Buy some time. Turned around. Solar Flare gonna force a cleanse on YCX, courtesy of the spellbook. Shun's also around. Climber just can't find what he's looking for, and I think Shun still looking to be a thorn in the back pocket. Pays is roaming, so is XQW. Pays, my guy. You knew they were there. Just about slides away with the untouchable Shadow. Has to burn the ultimate, earns 2. Outplays it is the way I'll put it. Had to. It's a very bold roam out of mid. Dragon still up, not taken. Is now being started by Shim. Should be able to pick that one up. looking to get on top of this turret. Good chunk from Scout. Got a lot of plates here, which is good for JDG. 3,000 gold, 3,500 gold. BW, misses his mortal steel. And now he is in danger. Gets a bit of a heal from YCX. Really is all that she wrote. Those late game heals do get very nasty from YCX if we can get through a few bravado procs. So, at this point, 2k lead for JDG. Let's look a little hit. First turret still to be played for. FaZe needs to be a little bit wary. It's got flash, ult, cleanse, so a lot of tools to stay safe. Those Eclipse times out. Scout's getting a lot of time topside with grubs. And JDG with grubs are always going to be a nightmare this game. Someone has to come and defend. I think Scout's going to stick for the turret. He does get it. His first turret secured. Fate sealed. Slowed by the weirding. Can still look to find a way out. Hit by the Glacial Prison. Needs to try to find a way between worlds. But I think is likely just dead and is enough summoners and bodies thrown at the Aurora to bring her low. 15 seconds on Herald. Has got teleport and has saved the ultimate. That's not true for LGD. I wonder whether Scout is going to be happy enough to say, look, I've given my life for the turret, and I can TP back in with ult to play for that objective. 8 seconds for Scout. Then TP in. Jaw gets jumped on. Mortal Steel and some gleams will be dazzling enough. Solar Flare forced a flash out of YCX. We're back here. Remember, the Between World wasn't used by Scout. Lands the weirding. Can look to go between worlds. The Cosmic Radiance now coming on down with the damage. Good! Too late to save XQW. Little green foot went out of the fire into the frying pan. The Scout gets his vengeance. Permafrost Passive has gone on top of the side of Shun, who flashways got himself. The Subjugate rolling and saving even by Valkyrie. Fools can't find it. Zhuo landing the Shield of Daybreaker's pace as the Archivore onto Sassy, who just got the solo kill, will still die to the turret. And Pace trades back. There's not even a clean turret dive, so that'll be Herald to JDG. End up losing, what, 3 for 1 there? You count Scout, 3 for 2, and they get the Herald, and they get the turret. That one is gonna sting. That's the mid lane play. He went back to try and play it, didn't he? Yeah, and gets flashed on. Steps away, another turret dive comes on through. Cleanses enough with the slow. So it does end up being a 1-for-1. But hey, who's that really going to favor? Gold on Nymaera or gold on Udyr? Has actually gone Kraken Slayer Hurricane this game. I mean, you are into a lot of melees. I see the value in that sense. I do wonder about the safety. Counter-strike down. He's got a decent chunk on the Climber, who's taken low. Vishashi will then leap strike out to safety. Sassy coming on in. Pays him, but does not have the flash. Gets knocked up with the Fate Seal and dies because he burned all his summoners 1v1ing an Udyr. Corki gets that kill. Now Shun's in danger. Good damage from Scouts. Oh, what Aurora play! The Holy Grail! And there is no holy hand grenade to bring that one down. Shun healing up so much. There's just no damage for Sassy. Shun just won't die. Subjugation Nation.
Red team has scored an ace.
And somehow JDG come away only losing pays. Look, Scout has been criticized relentlessly since summer playoffs, spring playoffs rather. And it was not good. There's the replay where Scout started with the solo kill. First pick Yone at 0, 3, and 2. Solo killed twice by Scout. And he has not had a good split, folks. But it does feel like once a series, you get to see the vintage Scout that went so many MVPs in a row over the last couple years. Or maybe temporary. Scout has always had some class. And that, as they say, is permanent. Pace does end up going down. Doesn't have the summoners to work with, and trapped against that wall will go down. But watch this re-engage from Scout here. Exceptional winning between worlds. Counter-strike. Goodbye. And then Sassy split up with the Google's right. I think I'm showing here. Surely. And just buys time for chomps and subjugates. Watch the timer on Trundle's ult, and it's up. Heal. Smite now. Oh, sure. Gets a redemption heal. It's going to be fine. Flash out from Climber. Shun in the backside. Fate Seal goes wide. They've already blown up the turret. He does manage to get the Cosmic Radiance down. Frost Scout will happen. Flash over. But between worlds! Oh, they just got killed for Bunny! Elmer Fudd understands, commiserates, but what's up, Doc? Shun has face checked to Corky and may just die. Oops. Yeah, no, Force Bomb still does things. Medjai's picked up for Scout now. Leandri's Bloodletter's upgraded sword, but he's not the Spell Slingers yet. But also Bloodletter's Curse, also an Oblivion Orb. This Aurora is such a problem. We'll come back to live. Sorry, not to live, to the replay. Shun's at face checking, but by so much damn time, gets the redemption. They just can't kill him. And Shun just careens his way forward, throws down the frozen domain. And YCX gets blasted. And XQW just can't kill off this poor Aurora. Tries to flash to avoid, I don't actually know, maybe a spell from Aurora when she comes out of Permafrost. Over Eager Flash. That one was a bit much from Shun, who no longer has any resist. Just gets blasted. Not bad from Savior. Did need to get something back. He's actually only 400 gold behind here. Shutdown's been helpful. The problem is that the Nymaera is only part of the problem this game. 84% chance to win for JDG. Yep, I think that's probably fair. 8,000 gold lead. Pace sidesteps the Glacial Prison and then begins to transcend themselves. Taken low though, and again, there is no lifesteal in this build. Gonna start up. Atacant regardless. Ults be damned. Savior, angle over the wall. Climber's got a heal. Got to turn this around. Waiting for the fight anyway. Sassy in the front line. Jaw's going to be taken really low. All of their resists have been shredded. But a massive counter strike between worlds. Aurora again with massive damage. Fate Seal goes wide. And SQW falls. Xiaoxi with another lead strike. Another counter strike. Nymaera free firing. As Paige trying to find an angle as Shun steps on forward with the subjugate rolling. Scout with the weirding. Savior trying to trade. Does get a D to Falcon, but it's a triple kill for Paige. And they will ace LGD. Play around the resist shred on the Atacant well enough. I got worried, I won't lie. And 22 stacks on the Medjais. LGD, you have made games 1 and 2 close enough. This one, oh, it's just not bad, is it? Joe finds the angle over the wall. They spot him out too late. Goes in. Does dive for it, but it sets up for Xiaoxu to find the leap strike, counter strike combo. Flashed out of a lot of the damage. XQW gonna have his body rebound. Doesn't hit anyone with his Fate Seal. Goes down. Pays despite not having the ult, despite not having life. Still just gets the free fire for the majority of this fight. Scout goes across the fail. The pillar comes on down, and Savior ends up Valkyrieing into the Aurora. Just doesn't have the cooldown. Scout actually runs out of mana there. Doesn't really seem to matter, does it? Back to live. Minute on Dragon. Minute second on Dragon. I've got to get my denominations of units right. Solar Flare on Savior. Gets hit by the Between Worlds. Cosmic Radiance does come on through, buys a bit of time. Will not save his life. As Nymaera again cultivates her spirit, a double for Pays. Scout on a flank angle. Will be going across the veil shortly, and I think dragging LGD with them. The knockup from the Mortal Steel is good. Pays looking for a quadra kill. Say it with me, chat. 4 down, 1 to go. Pays gets the quadra kill. Pays gets the quadra kill. The Scout goes, yeah, no, I won you this game. May have been a touch baited there by the Aurora. Pays is going to be very annoyed after that one. I take it all back. Scout's a scumbag. Don't like that player. Not had a good series. Not for that. How dare you? How dare you? I was ramping up. It starts with a very good Solar Flare combo, but they don't quite blow up Savior before the Cosmic Radiance triggers. So they go back across. He's still going to die here in the end. Pays gets that one. He's just bought the time to get across there with the Untouchable Shadow. And he's transcending himself all the while. So very easy to get very good after Ruins. Kraken Slayer gets you a lot of auto uptime. In slow-mo. Why, Scout? He stops. He's giving it over. It's the twofold Hex pullback and the Leandry's burn. Oh, dear. Leandry's burn. Okay. He's interrupted. XQW has unbound his soul permanently. Shouldn't help him along to do that. Big pair of scissors and snip on that cord. Right, towards back we go. 12k Goldie, I'm still amused about that pen steal. Ding Dong Gaming today, they are, at least in this game, correctly, they are all firing. 5,000 health to go on the Baron, and it will be taken in very short order. Auto 2 out of Smite with the chop will secure it. Xiaoxu got a 1v3. Himself 2 items. Oh, so the sky damage is pretty high. XQW finds some value. There's the Fate Seal. Redemption buys a lot of time for Xiaoxu, who hops away and flashes. In a 1 versus 4, they cannot kill Xiaoxu. He wants to go back in. Xiaoxu, stop it. Oh my god, he got the kill. Sun and Sky healing. It's ridiculous. Leap strikes out and Xiaoxu dances on their graves. It is a jig, and it's a merry one. And as they say, the jig is up for LGD. Their playoff dreams die here. Ding Dong Gaming, for all the flaws, for all the fumbles, for all the inconsistencies. Right now, they matter not. Playoffs secured. Well, that was something. We watched the game. It happened. Thank you very much for coming and tuning in. Appreciate you all back home for this one. I'm Initialise. You may have seen me on the LEC, on the Mere Masters, and a number of other things as well. pleasure to have you all in here watching League of Legends, specifically the LPL, with myself and normally Nymaera, who is taking the day off because his voice is a bit dead. Fortunately for you, I am here to make sure that we still get the stream regardless. Thank you for all tuning in. For those of you who have not, please do make sure to follow the socials. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube. Make sure you're following us at our Twitters and Instagrams and TikToks at Initialise Cast, at Nymaera. You'll find us. Please do come and say hello and make sure to come and give us some love there as well. If you want to support the LPL a bit more formally, you can subscribe here on the Twitch channel. Amazon Prime, remember, does give you a free subscription every month, so why aren't you using it here of all places? You can also use the Ko-fi link. And also, you can use, of course, the wonderful new thing in League Mastery as well. Where is League Mastery on this one? Here it is. It is a wonderful new coaching website that Hedon is putting together. Myself and Alex will be involved making some videos for you all, teaching you how to cast. If you want to get better at League of Legends, use our code. You can come and support us and learn about League of Legends, wand tricks and coaches and casting. Loads and loads of different stuff on there, just teaching you all about what it takes to be better at League of Legends in a more holistic sense. So do come and check that one out as well, to those who would love to. I'm going to go set up my PC to get my own stream on. We'll probably go play a bit of Helldivers and get that Battle Pass rolling. I'll go see whether Alex wants to join us. Do you want me to turn the camera off?
No, I'm just in a duty, guys.
He's super comfy right now.
Hello, I'm very comfortable right now. Yeah.
It's the most comfy Alex has ever been in his life. Right
you know, my voice is dead, but I'm thriving, folks.
That's fantastic. So I'm gonna get my PC rolling.
You can go do
I'm hoping Helldivers is updated.
It won't, Sam. If you haven't updated it,
I did update it. I don't know if I've updated when the ODST came out.
You will need to do that.
I'm gonna go do that all the same though.
Okay, cool.
Are you down to...
Yeah, you right over.
That's fine, I will go do that. Fabulous. Back in a second.
Like one of the few things I can give.
Yeah, that's very true.
And then Astromander as well. Okay, Commander says it's okay. Okay, folks. Hello. If you couldn't tell, my voice is still a little bit dead. We'll wait until Sam's ready. We'll wait until we get some highlights through, and then we'll send you over to him. So I hope you all enjoyed the stream today. What were your favorite moments? I did see the Stolen Panther. Yeah, it was. It wasn't. I did look. It wasn't the pullback. It was just the burn.
That was funny, Dave.
Very funny.
It's caught me so flat-footed.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, I'm doing alright. I honestly, I kind of just need the mental break as well, because I know that we're actually quite used to it now, but just the actual mental burden of, which I think is actually a step up from just chill co-streaming. Like, if you're casting on a regular broadcast, you're not handling the stream, you're not reading chats, you don't have to do production. And you also don't have to, like, do social media and stuff like that. Well, you do a little bit, right? But and if you're co-streaming, you're not actually casting a lot of the time, right? But when we do it like this, where we're casting and co-streaming, you know, I'm currently reading 3 chats, making sure that OBS is running. I have to do all of the back-end stuff. And then I got to cast at the same time. And then doing that for, God, well, this is a short day. This is only a couple of hours, right? Yeah, but, you know, if we're doing it for 5-6 hours a day, 7 days a week, you know, waking up at a time that I don't normally, it's, yeah, especially when I'm solo casting as well. Makes it pretty hard, yeah. I actually think we've gotten pretty good at it, you know? We're pretty good at it. However, it is just a hard thing to do, so occasionally I just remind myself, damn, it's actually a lot of work. Fare thee well, LGD. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have Sam. Yeah, for sure. It means that we can pick up the slack, really. The cast quality in general is good. Well, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to say that. And of course, everyone who has donated over the last while. Actually, let me just call out all of the people that support us. Actually, why don't I do that? Why don't I do that? Yeah. God, let me have a look through everyone who supports us. Can I do that? Yeah, just so like over the last month we've had our Kofi active. So a shout out to people I have supported. Montes, Jborg, Edelast. There was someone who's anonymous who gave 30 euros over. Mac, a fanboy, of course. A huge drop on there. Faye subscribed. Akashi, Dr. Shamrock, Bombadil, also a very generous donor as well, of course. Third, another anonymous Kofi supporter, Bombadil again, Edelast, Harold Hamhan, Talent, and Faye again with the subscription. Makes a lot of difference. And thank you so much for the gift bomb there, Mecca. Actually, what I can do, hang on, where's the alert box? I think I've got this set up to be actually.
Nymaera again.
200 subs? Are you freaking kidding me? 200? That's like double. That's double already a hilariously large amount. Are you kidding me? 200. I've even did you notice that? I even did that thing where I changed the alert box. I fixed the alert box finally. Yeah, oh my god, that's so many messages. I can't even scroll back and see how much that is. Jesus Christ. Chat history has actually gone. I actually can't see it. Yeah, chat history has gone so far now, I actually can't see what was said before that. It's like a wall of mecha subs. The Oiler strikes again. Let's wait until we get ourselves our... Jesus Christ. By the way, with that, we've now hit 736 subscribers. We currently have 78 viewers. There are 10 times more subscribers than there are viewers. Oh my god, it's gonna look like a money laundering screen. Jesus. Sorry, I'm actually coughing quite a lot. See that my voice is still a little bit ropey. I really will need to get myself a drink. Oh, it's September, true. I'm not gonna die, Becca. I'm not gonna die, hopefully. Luckily today, folks, so LPL Playoffs will be taking a break until Sunday. I will be on LEC Friday and Sunday. I'm on desk on Friday, and then I get genuinely the hugest honor to cast G2 versus KC in a world qualifying series with Medic in a best of 5. Winner of G2 KC goes to Worlds, and I get to cast that with Medic. Fucking insane. So catch that on Sunday. Get her MVP here as well. Scout gets MVP, 10 wall 14. Awesome. Awesome. Great to see that. And then, yeah. I've got, I think the week after that, I get... Oh, man. Let me check my schedule. I get to cast it? Yeah, I get to cast it. Yeah, I get to cast it. And then, what else is after on the schedule for me? And then the week after that, I'm on desk for the second day, and then my last cast of the LEC split, so I'm not going to Madrid, sadly. I get to cast the last like LEC studio one with Dracos and Dagdos. That'll be for my first cast with Dracos, actually. Never casted with him before. I'm very much looking forward to it. Legend of the scene, of course. So I'm trying to think, that might actually be another Worlds qualifying series. Maybe not. Is that true? No, I don't think that one qualifies for Worlds, but it does get you 2 odds thing. Which team do you think is going to... who do you think each team is going to pick in the bracket? Let's have a quick think about that then, shall we? Let's have a quick think about that. Well, I think Top East will probably pick EDG. Because EDG rely on a jungle advantage and they have Kanavi. And Kanavi will. I would love to see... I would love to see Xiao Hao versus Kanavi. That would just be so fun. I think EDG Top East was a great matchup. Then second seed IG, I guess they face Durnby. We could get Rookie versus Durnby in a best of 5. Oh, awesome. All we need is Alex to qualify for Worlds and then we're set. I don't think I will be because I've not been reached out to for a visa. I will ask for co-streaming permission, but as far as I'm aware, because it's in China, you often get asked quite in advance. Especially for work visas, they take a long time for China. They have to ask about, I don't know, months in advance, half a year in advance, I'd imagine. The Rookie versus Durnby post-match thread will be something, hell yeah. So I think Top East will pick EDG. I think that IG pick NIP after that. And then BLG, presume... do they pick Weibo or JDG? JDG weirdly have a good matchup into BLG, so I wonder if they pick Weibo. I wonder if they pick Weibo, and then I think anyone's legend will be left with JDG after that. But yeah, I don't think I'll be on worse because I've not been asked about it. And plus also if I'm not getting an LEC finals, and I've never had an LEC finals by the way. If I'm not on that, I doubt they take me, right? Because let's be honest, the benchmark is being on a regional finals a lot of the time. If you're on a regional finals, I reckon you're on a shortlist for worlds, but besides that, I don't think you get into it. Okay, folks, that's our MVP. Sam, you up and running? Yep. Cool. I'll get radio over to Sam then. Okay, folks. Let's send you over to Sam, say hello to him, and we'll go play some high divers. When is the playoff bracket decided? That's a good question. That's a good question. Okay, I will literally go load up Helldivers as well. You'll just be seeing me on a different screen.